Good morning, Paul Duke, and happy Women's History Month. My name is Yanel, and these are your announcements for today. Are you an 11th grade or 12th grade student interested in attending an HBCU? The PDS Counseling Department will be taking a group of interested students to Savannah State University on Friday, April 17th. Please check your GCPS Gmail account for an email from Mr. Rohn with additional instructions and visit the Counseling Department for a permission slip if you are interested. Seniors, do you have 200 community service hours? If so, make sure that you bring your completed logs to the counseling office by Friday, March 20th. Late forms will not be accepted. Make sure to buy your prom ticket for this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the High Museum. Tickets are on GoFan and the theme is Met Gala. Prom King and Queen voting is live. Prom Queen nominees are Isabel, Jennifer, and Arky, and Prom King nominees are Michael, Jack, and Traymel. Vote for your class of 2026 Prom King and Queen today using the QR code on the posters around the school. Voting ends on Friday, March 20th. This upcoming Friday, March 21st, we will be hosting the GCPS Winter Guard exhibition here at Paul Duke. The event starts at 6:30 p.m. and we will have 10 great performances from other schools in the district. Our color guard is scheduled to perform at 8:45 p.m. that evening. We would love for you to catch our students one last time before they head to championships the following weekend. Tickets are available on GoFan. Congratulations to our Readers Rally team. They competed against other GCPS high schools last week and came in second place. We are so proud of our students for their commitment, teamwork, and accomplishments. Seniors, know someone who is a talented singer? Tell them to audition to sing the national anthem at graduation using the information in this flyer. And that's all for the announcements. Bye, Trailblazers!
Hello.
What's up, Paul Duke? Happy Women's History Month. When I think about women, I think about my mom first. And when I think about my mom, I think about flowers, which, as you can see, we don't really have a lot of here. So why don't we fix that? Welcome back to my shop. Well, to begin with, covering a field that big wouldn't be very enjoyable by just walking, and to be honest, it would be kind of boring. So to fix those problems, we need to build something that can cover land fast and be fun at the same time. So I think this gives me the perfect excuse to build a RC car, or even better, a monster truck. Yeah. But wait. How are we going to plant the actual flowers? We need something that can dispense our flower seeds, something that attaches to the car. Maybe something that spins and shoots flower seeds everywhere. Why don't we get to work? Alright, now we have our monster truck, but we have to put our flower seeds somewhere. Something like a round dish with exit holes. Wait, that kind of looks like a flower. Let's try that again. Alright, that looks better. So now we can take our flower seeds. We put them in the dispenser, and when the dispenser spins, all of our flower seeds fly out of the exit holes and causes it to plant flowers. But how do we make the dispenser actually spin? Well, first, we're gonna need an energy source, so we're gonna be using a power bank, which we will connect to a power switch. Then we will have the power switch go through a potentiometer, which is actually a device that acts as a knob and lets us control the speed of our dispenser. And finally, from the potentiometer to the DC motor, which is the part responsible for making our dispenser spin and shoot flower seeds everywhere. Alright, I think we're ready. Let's get to work. think that's our dispenser. Only one thing left to do now.
Tell me about the city you're from. Is it high? Does it snow there? Lately I've been thinking about my precarious future. Will you be there with me by my side, my girl, my shooter? Who's to say who calculates? Not me, I'm no computer. Is it a crime to be unsure? In time we'll find if it's sustainable.
Okay, now that we threw all of our flower seeds all around this field, I think that should address our problem. And hopefully, next year this place is gonna start looking a little bit more like this. Alright, well this has been a lot of fun. And if you also want to do stuff like this, you go to Paul Duke. So I suggest you get out there, embrace your resources, and catch you next time, Paul Duke.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take out T-C-B. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, interest rate. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. Woo, hey, interest rate. Just a little bit, I'll get tired. Keep on trying, just a little bit. You're running out.
Good morning and welcome back to PDS Sports Center. I am your host, Kennedy Cornett, and today we have our two inside analysts, Emmanuel Sharp and Prince A. Smith. They will be talking about their top picks for the next two bright shining stars. Of course, I'm talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. We will start with Prince. Now, for questions. Who do you think produces more for their team?
I'd have to go with Angel Reese. You know, Angel Reese, she is a prolific inside scorer. She is averaging currently a double-double. Player like Angel Reese, she dominates in the paint where you need her to. She can get those boards, make second chance opportunities for her team. Like, I really think that is no question.
Quick question. What do you think is the hardest position in the league to play?
Well, honestly, that can be factored depending on what team it is and who you're playing against.
No, well, I think the point guard position or the shooting guard position is the hardest position to play in the league, especially in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is playing the point guard position, and she actually has her team as a 6th seed, or Angel Reese has her team as what, the 12th seed? And you said Angel Reese produces more, well, I beg to differ, because Caitlin Clark is actually averaging over 20 points for her team, over 10 assists for her team, while Angel Reese is only averaging like what? 10 points and 12 rebounds, I give her that, but she's a center, you know, she's 6'3" as a center, you know?
Obviously, we're not here to question is Angel Reese a better scorer than Caitlin Clark. This is Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
You know, this is no shade to Caitlin Clark. Obviously, Caitlin Clark, one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen come into the league. One of the greatest prospects I've ever seen come into the league. But Angel Reese, what she does for her team as a force to be reckoned with, that's what she is. She's not just a star, she's an enforcer.
No,
like, this,
I don't
this
want to
should
hear
be.
it. I don't want to hear it.
Time for the second question. The two, whose future will shine brightest, meaning when all is said and done, who will be the best WNBA player out of the two?
Well, that's no question. It's Caitlin Clark.
Oh my God, stop it.
Caitlin Clark.
Stop it.
No
Stop
question.
It. This is blasphemy.
No, it is not.
You're saying blasphemy right now. Caitlin Clark, listen, don't discredit the kid. Angel Reese
better score.
has the dog inside
dog
of
in her.
that
Her team is
Caitlin
the
Clark has
12th
not
seed.
been shown to have.
10 to 34.
Hey, teams can change about who's going to be a star.
She's going to be the star.
This has been a fantastic discussion, but there is one important thing that we do need to focus on, and that's payment. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are both respectable in their own ways until it gets down to when they get paid. Women in basketball are breaking records and inspiring a new generation. But when it comes to pay, the gap is staggering. The average WNBA salary is around $120,000. Compare that to the NBA, where the average player earns over $8 million. WNBA rookies start at roughly $60,000, while NBA rookies earn more than $1 million. And that's just salaries. Endorsements and sponsorship deals tilt even further in favor of men. This isn't about skill. WNBA players work just as hard, put in the same hours, and bring the same intensity. Fair pay, equal opportunity, and recognizing the talent that's shaping the future of basketball. Thank you for coming and listening into this podcast episode. We'll see you again. Thank you.
Good morning, Trailblazers. My name is Yanel, and today we are here with one of our phenomenal student leaders, Myra Wu. She has participated in numerous activities here at Paul Duke STEM, including band, DECA, TSA, student council, and even plays tennis at Norcross High School. On top of that, she's the class of 2026 salutatorian. So, Myra, my first question for you is, because you have been so involved in numerous activities here, can you share a moment from one of your activities that has had a significant impact on you, either as a leader or a team member?
One of my most memorable memories is probably when our TSA chapter won first in the state last year. And it was really memorable because we had been working the entire school year on these projects, and it led to us winning first in the state and beating the 8-time champion Parkview. And it was really thrilling to see a chapter being able to represent Paul Duke at the state level.
Speaking of TSA and all things tech, you were also runner-up for GCPS Student of the Year, which is a huge accomplishment. So what was that experience like?
That experience was really rewarding because I got to do a lot of interviews, get a lot of interview practice, and also participate in leadership sessions, meeting business professionals too, and hearing about people who are in my field and sharing my story and hearing other people do stuff like be interested in film and engineering and marketing and stuff like that.
So being CTAU Student of the Year is already a huge accomplishment. Out of all of your accomplishments from your 4 years here that you haven't mentioned, what is one that you're super proud of?
One accomplishment that I'm really proud of is winning first at DECA State last year for Innovation Plan. My partner and I came up with a plan for this application called Sign On. We took in national hearing loss statistics and found a need for sign language interpretations on news channels. And we came up with an idea for an AI generated picture-in-picture sign language interpreter, taking inspiration from Taiwan. We had a model and we got first in the state, which was really rewarding, showing how we can create a solution for that.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to balance academics, extracurriculars, and personal life?
I would tell someone that you really get out what you put in. You come to Paul Duke STEM, we have so many pathways for you to explore, and also don't be super hyper focused on one. If you join a pathway and you don't really love it, then you have chances to join it later years. Also, the amount of effort you put into the clubs you want to join is really crucial. I use Google Calendar and reminders to kind of keep everything on schedule. Have your priorities straight. You want to make sure you excel academically while also being able to provide for the clubs that you're a part of and that you commit to.
Well, thank you so much, Myra. We're super proud of you and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
My name is Avani Shanpag, and I'm the president of our Society of Women Engineers chapter, also known as SWE Next. So this is the high school level of the collegiate level club SWE. So the aim of Society of Women Engineers is to create a fun and welcoming way to introduce STEM and engineering to students, especially in high school, because that's such a formative time when students are figuring out what they want to do, what their next steps are moving into college and into the professional workforce. So we want to allow students to try out new STEM and new engineering concepts concepts and not have that be super intimidating. So a little bit about what we do at our meetings. We try to introduce as many different STEM and engineering concepts as we can, whatever research the officers and I can do on our own, and share with the students with an interactive activity is kind of what we try to incorporate in our meetings usually. So one of the examples is when we did a collab with French National Honor Society and we built little mini guillotines that the students could take home, and this was not only a good way to introduce the engineering concepts in guillotine making, but also a cool way to show off some French history. Another one, we did an outreach event at Summer Hour Middle School, and we kind of themed this around environmental awareness, and we had an eco-engineering day, and we had a lot of different stations for the students, and this was again just a fun way to introduce younger students to STEM and engineering. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about STEM, a little bit more about engineering, come to our next meeting, which is on March 23rd. We'll have snacks, and we'll be doing a fun engineering activity related to St. Patrick's Day, and we hope to see you there.
I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now.
I am Mrs. O'Connor, and I am a marketing teacher and DECA advisor here at Paul Duke STEM.
I am Leslie Patel. I am the college and career counselor at Paul Duke STEM.
So my opinion, I'm glad you asked, on the gender gap in pay is, to me, it all falls back to equality. I think if women are doing the same job as men, pay should be equal. And I think that applies across everything, ethnicity, income, or education level to a certain extent. But I just think we need to be more equitable in America. And it's unfortunate that women don't get paid as much as men, even though we're doing the same job, sometimes if not more.
Yeah, I think specifically that, I think it's a shame. I think it's, men and women typically can do the same amount of work. Women can sometimes do it faster and better. And so I think that everybody should be paid equally. It used to be, I think that, men needed to make more a long time ago when not as many women worked, but that's not the case anymore. And so we need to keep up with the times.
They didn't expect her to change the world, but she never asked permission. From quiet moments of curiosity to long nights chasing answers, she saw what others couldn't. Where they saw limits, she saw questions worth asking. Where they built barriers, she built her own way through. She's more than just a scientist. She's a force of discovery, a mind that refuses to stay still. Every equation, every experiment, every breakthrough is a step towards something greater. Not just for her, but for everyone who dares to dream beyond what's known. This is her story, and she's only just begun.